Do you want to get enchanted golden apples on day 1 in Minecraft? You absolutely should, because every golden apple gives you 5 minutes of fire immunity, as well as 8 extra hearts instantly and health regeneration after you eat it. Enchanted golden apples are fantastic to have anytime you might be in danger. That's why I'm going to show you how to start getting enchanted golden apples as soon as humanly possible. In order to do this, we're gonna have to go to the ancient city. You may be scared of the warden and be worried about dying, but I'm on hardcore and I'm gonna show you exactly what you need to do to survive the warden. We're gonna utilize the immunity period when you set off a shrieker to get as far as possible from a spawning warden, but we'll get into that later. All you really need to raid the ancient city is some stone tools and some shears. Every chest in the ancient city has a 10% chance to give you an enchanted golden apple, as well as a lot of other nice loot. So we're going to start looting this structure as quickly as possible, but in order to do that efficiently, we need to know how all the buildings will be laid out. Okay, so I have here a picture of the ancient city from the top down. So the first thing you're going to notice is this big blocky area in the center. In here, there's not really any loot. But there's some interesting features that I will tell you about later. The next thing to notice is the roads. So the roads are these long arms that go all the way down from the ancient city. So every ancient city loot structure is going to be right off the main road. So the strategy is really going to be to stick to the road and look to the side off of it, left and right, so that we can see all the structures and grab the loot in them. What I like to do is put a torch down at each structure once I'm done raiding it. Placing torches down can create noise that ends up spawning the warden, so you have to be careful, but lighting up all the areas you've previously been to can be a very helpful thing to do. And just so you know, every one of these red structures has a chance to have from 0 to 3 ancient city chests. Okay, so once you're in the ancient city, the first thing that you want to do is start collecting as much wool as possible. And so to do that, you have to find one of the roads. So you can see a road here. You'll know them because they kind of look like big walls, and on the floor, you can see tons and tons of wool. For reasons that will soon become clear, wool is going to be the block that we're going to want to build with the most inside the ancient city. And to clear out the whole ancient city, we might need 2 to 3 stacks of wool, but I usually grab about 1 stack at a time from the floor of the road. Okay, so anytime that you make a sound, place a block, mine something, eat, take fall damage, any of those actions are going to be classified as sounds. The ancient city has blocks that are listening for your sounds. The more noise that you make eventually will cause the ancient city to spawn a warden, who is a super dangerous enemy. Okay, so you finally found a structure with some chests that you want, but it's covered in shriekers. What do you actually do? Well, the first step is simply just to cover them with wool, surround them from every angle. And I also put up a little barrier here, just this barrier being in between the chests and these sensors. That's going to prevent them from hearing the chests. They don't have to be completely covered, just a wall between is fine. But once we cover everything up, we're good to loot. Oh my god, yo. And look at that. Day 1, we got 3 gapples already. What a start to a run. Oh my god, what is this? Okay, so at this point we've seen some good loot and we've seen how fast you can get it. But the one thing that you need to remember if you're going to loot ancient cities is that eventually you will spawn the warden. I don't care how smart you are about placing wool and blocking sounds. Eventually you're gonna slip up and the warden will spawn. So what do you actually do in that situation? As soon as that shrieker goes off, we have a 10-second timer until another one could get triggered. So we're gonna use that 10 seconds to sprint away from the warden's detection range. Once we're out of range, we can't make any more noises for 60 seconds. That way the warden will despawn. The warden's detection range for sounds is about 20 blocks. You really have to get quite far away before you're allowed to make sounds again. But what happens if you do make a sound inside that 20 block detection range? In this case, the warden will rapidly start moving towards you, and you'll be in a lot of danger. So just to clarify, the second that shrieker goes off, you gotta get as much distance as you can. Once that audio animation of the warden climbing out of the ground ends, that's when you want to make sure that you're crouching and don't make any sounds, don't step on any skulk. Also, this is when the roads are really useful because the entire inside hallway on the roads is always wool. And on wool, you do not have to crouch to be perfectly quiet. You can actually sprint as fast as you want and sprint jump when you're on the wool. So if you want to get a lot of distance quickly, make sure that you're on the road. Generally, you just want to get as far away as possible, as quietly as possible. But in that moment, right after the shrieker goes off, you have time to sprint away and get that 20 block distance. So after all is said and done, I looted this one ancient city and I got 5 golden apples. If you guys want more of this, I could do like looting 10 ancient cities or something on hardcore. Or if you want to see me raid a different structure on day 1, then I'm down. Right here, I joined on creative mode to show you guys the icebox room. It can appear anywhere else a regular chest room structure could show up, but inside it'll have different food associated loot like golden carrots, ice blocks, stuff like that. Golden carrots are nice for making night vision potions, which could be worth it if you want to raid a lot of ancient cities. Back in the center of the ancient city, we've got the redstone room. There's a bunch of redstone circuitry curiosities you can check out, but to be honest, I don't really understand any of it. There's no loot unless you count the redstone components, but it's an interesting feature that's present in every ancient city.